Welcome back. Candidates for Wisconsin's widely watched Supreme Court race between liberal Janet Protasiewicz and conservative Dan Kelly, they faced off in their only debate this week, hosted by ourselves and the state bar. It included some fiery moments. Take a look at the highlights for yourselves.
And should the state consider appointing Supreme Court justices rather than electing?
I've been traveling this entire state for the past year, talking to people, talking to them about their concerns, talking to them about issues that they think are important. And I would not be able to understand them in the same way as I can after I've spoken with people. You know, I've talked with Native Americans on their reservations about how they feel about their land. I've talked with people who own small farms and tell me how they want to pass that farm, it's their only progeny, down generation to generation, but they can't do it if the forever chemicals are in the soil. So I think that, it's a long, bruising process running for one of these seats. We're both doing this for almost a year. It's a long process. I can't think of a better way to do it, though. I really just can't.
Ms. Kelly, your response.
So I like the idea that servants, and that's what we are servants, and you all are the bosses. I like the idea that the servants need to come back regularly to their bosses and give a report on what they've done with the authority that they were loaned. Because that's all we do. We use loaned authority to decide your cases. And in the judiciary, it is loaned to us to decide legal questions. It's not for us to have political conversations. It's for us to decide legal questions. The founders set this up so that we separated the law-making function from the law-adjudicating function. And so the conversations we have should follow that. I don't have any problem with the outside groups coming in, having a conversation. What I do want, though, is to have it be relevant to the work of the court. Let's talk about the Constitution and the rule of law and judicial philosophy and what a jurist does, not politics.
I am running against probably one of the most extreme partisan characters in the history of this state. This is somebody who advised the Republican Party about the fake elector scheme. This is somebody who was running his former office out of the Republican Party headquarters. This is somebody who's given legal advice to the Republican Party over and over and over. But the real cherry on the top is that fake electors scheme. That fake electors scheme. Andrew Hitt, who was the head of the Republican Party, testified in the January 6th hearings that he had extensive conversations with my opponent. Extensive conversations with him about the fake electors. He is a true threat to our democracy.
Justice Kelly, you have a 30-second rebuttal.
Sure. So once again, they're lying. So you might not know this, but the Republican Party had multiple attorneys. His testimony was he had extensive conversations with his attorneys, plural. His testimony was also that he had one conversation with me, 30 minutes, in which he asked if I was in the loop on the alternate electors slate. I told him I wasn't, because I wasn't. And that was the end of the matter.
I have centered my entire career on being fair and impartial and following the law and upholding the Constitution.
I understand that all the authority that we exercise on the Supreme Court is on loan to us from you. You've loaned it through your Constitution. You've been extraordinarily clear about what we are to do on your behalf. You've told us that we have one job and one job only, and that is to decide your cases according to the existing law, without respect to what we think about them.
And just ahead, an exclusive story of one Madison patient's nightmare with medical billing.